Hi, this is Simon and welcome to another marvelous video. The Cloverfield franchise is one of the most popular sci-fi horror film series, and it focuses on the Cloverfield monster as it stirs up in New York and also tries to eat the Statue of Liberty. First introduced in the 2008 Cloverfield film, this monster caused huge-scale destruction in New York City, and all his killings were presented in the form of camera footage recorded by the film's protagonist. The movie was a huge hit, and the Cloverfield monster became a subject of the audience's curiosity due to its unique physiological features and strange ways of attacking its victims. Today we'll explore this creature in detail and tell you all about his anatomy. Before we go into our explanation, we do have a very small request. If you like our content, then please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
Are you guys seeing this shit right now? Oh my god! Oh god! Oh god!
How did the Cloverfield monster originate? Does it have extraterrestrial origins? There have been many theories surrounding the origins of the Cloverfield monster, and the movie's director, Matt Reeves, finally answered the audience's doubts regarding this creature on the movie's 15th anniversary. Reeves stated that the Cloverfield monster is actually an alien creature, and an Easter egg in the film hinted at its origins. At the end of the movie, there is some footage from the time when the protagonists are on the Ferris wheel, and we can see a meteor crashing down and falling into the water in the background. This is how the Cloverfield monster's journey began on Earth, and he is essentially an alien who ended up in a strange world. However, J.J. Abrams does not really agree with this theory, and he has even rejected the idea that the Cloverfield monster is an extraterrestrial creature. Instead, it is suggested that it is a mysterious creature that lives in the ocean and has mysterious evolutionary history. Not much is known about them, except that they have huge lifespans and can remain as infants for several years after being born. This monster became huge after feeding on seabed's nectar, a steroid-like liquid that can boost cell division and growth. Cloverfield was first discovered by Kazuo Ichigawa, a marine biologist who worked for a deep-sea exploration and petroleum mining company named Taguato. After consuming a lot of the nectar, the monster ended up going into hibernation before it was discovered by Ichigawa. However, Taguato stole any evidence of this creature's existence and later killed Ichigawa in order to silence him. The company's officials later decided to find this creature on their own, and they started exploring the waters under the pretense of drilling for oil. Before the oil rig was supposed to open, they sent a number of submarines into the sea to study the Cloverfield monster, and their activities disturbed its sleep. It finally snapped out of its hibernation period and woke up in a fit of rage. After destroying the oil rig station, the Cloverfield monster made its way to Manhattan and unleashed chaos all over the place.
They're not gonna hit us, are they? Oh my god, they hit it! They just hit it right now!
Why did the Cloverfield monster attack New York? The movie's plot furthers in the form of found footage that helps us decipher the events that took place when the Cloverfield monster attacked New York, but we still don't know what was the reason behind it. The movie's director, Matt Reeves, explained the character's backstory and even stated that it was just an infant monster. The whole reason why it attacks New York is because it was separated from its mother and it was only trying to look for her. While it can be scary for humans to witness a huge monster throwing a fit and wreaking havoc in a huge city, the Cloverfield monster is a scared baby looking for his mother. Moreover, the monster also does not realize that his actions are harming others, and it causes a sense of panic when the citizens and police start attacking it. This makes it an even more dangerous creature, as it may end up causing more damage out of panic. What is the basic physical structure of the monster? The Cloverfield monster was extremely tall, and it was around 240 to 300 feet in length. It also had gigantic trifork fin tail and 4 limbs. The creature's upper limbs were double jointed, and they were longer than the other two. These upper limbs tapered off into hands with multiple fingers, and the Cloverfield monster was strong enough to crush entire vehicles with just its hands and fingers. Moreover, its fingers were strong enough to carry the weight of its whole body, and the creature could balance itself on its fingers alone if it wanted to. The bottom 2 limbs were also double jointed, and they helped him move around very quickly despite his heavy weight. The Cloverfield monster's feet were around 30 to 40 feet tall, which means that his feet were as tall as a truck or a bus. It was a piece of cake for this creature to stomp over a bus or flip it over by just using its feet, and the Cloverfield monster's huge size is one of its best physiological features.
Yeah, that's the shit right there! That's what I'm talking about!
What does the diet of the monster consist of? The Cloverfield monster's diet was not fixed, and it consisted of a number of food items, ranging from sea animals to humans, and so on. It has a carnivorous diet, which has been confirmed with footage of it eating whales and even horses. Initially, a picture of half-eaten whales suggested that Cloverfield monster feeds on sea animals, and one of the movie's characters, Marlene, later saw the monster feeding on humans as well. The footage from New York also showed an instance where the Cloverfield monster used its exterior esophagi tubes to feed on multiple horses simultaneously. It had once bitten a human so hard that their body split in half, and the Cloverfield monster does not seem to have any trouble finding food. His diet consists of anything with flesh, and he has a number of options ranging from sea creatures to humans to feed on. How does the monster eat its victims? The Cloverfield monster has two external esophagi between its legs, and it externally feeds on its victims by directly eating them through the esophagi. It can feed on any creature smaller than itself by using the esophagi, which is not an issue since pretty much everyone in the world is smaller than the Cloverfield monster. The Cloverfield Kishin manga elaborated on its feeding habits and depicted the esophagi as thin tubes that can be wrapped around the victims before it feeds on them. In the movie, we can see that the Cloverfield monster has esophagi that end with sharp, teeth-like structures that enable it to feed on creatures as huge as horses without any trouble.
This shit right now! Oh my god! Oh god! Oh god!
All about the peculiar skin of the Cloverfield monster. The Cloverfield monster's skin was grey in colour, and it had a pale appearance that probably resulted from his time spent underwater. His skin was also covered with thousands of parasites that were a few feet tall themselves. The Cloverfield monster was quite tall and strong, and its skin was especially resistant to weapons. He could not even be harmed by projectile weaponry, and most weapons just bounced off his skin. While these weapons did not harm him, the Cloverfield monster did get scared of them and became even more aggravated. His resistance is quite similar to the way most sea animals resist heat or pressure, since their underwater environment helps them develop a resistance to such things. The Cloverfield monster's skin was strong enough to tolerate gunshots from powerful guns, missile launchers, and even bombs, among other high-powered weapons. How big is the full-grown monster? The Cloverfield monster that was first introduced in the 2008 film is also known as Clover, and it seems that it can grow to huge heights. While it was already around 200 feet in the film, it can grow much longer. As an adult, Clover is so tall that he cannot even fit into the frame, and his face is usually shown among the clouds. This suggests that he is at least taller than 26,246 feet, and as the movie progresses, it seems to have grown 30,000 feet tall. The Cloverfield monster is certainly very tall, and it quite literally has the ability to keep growing to great heights.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
What are the parasites, the secondary monsters in Cloverfield? The Cloverfield monster's entire body was covered with over 2,000 creatures known as parasites. These parasites were around the same height and weight as a dog, and they were dangerous creatures with a deadly bite. These creatures also had 10 legs, and their limbs resembled a spider's legs. They also had 4 pincers on the top of their body, as well as their back, and they also had multiple eyes. Parasites had grey skin and large jaws, and they typically attack in huge groups. These creatures coordinated their attacks with each other and then trapped their prey after catching them by surprise. Parasites could also detect any person or creature from afar, and it is suggested that these creatures were also responsible for making the Cloverfield monster come out of the water. These creatures were even codenamed as human scale parasites, HSP, by the police department. What happened when these parasites bite their victims? These parasites were especially known for their bites, as they had huge levels of Keitai no Mitsu, or seabed nectar, in their blood. When a parasite bites anyone, they hardly stay alive for 20 to 40 minutes before they die. During this time, their victims suffer symptoms such as dizziness, bleeding, and even throwing up blood. Furthermore, victims of the parasite's bite also ended up bleeding through their noses and eyes, and their symptoms worsened if anyone poured water on the parasite. When the parasite came into into contact with water, their saliva reacted to the water and their bites became even more lethal. After suffering from these symptoms for a while, their victims' bodies start degenerating and it expands until their central cavity explodes. People who were attacked by these parasites also had to be isolated, as others feared that the virus would contaminate them too. Furthermore, it was quite important to isolate these infected bodies before they exploded, or else they would just make a mess everywhere.
I think they got him. Yeah, that's the shit right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Can the Cloverfield monster reproduce? The Cloverfield monster belongs to an alien species that clearly has the ability to reproduce, since it was established that it had a mother. Matt Reeves even stated that the monster was just a child suffering from separation anxiety after being separated from its mother. While not much is known about that alien species, we can definitely establish that they can reproduce, since the Cloverfield monster is living proof of it. Is the Cloverfield monster immortal? As the movie progressed, the protagonist, as well as the army, started taking drastic steps in order to get rid of the monster. However, he seemed nearly invulnerable, as any form of weapon or explosives does very little damage to him. Eventually, the US Army decided to enforce the Hammer Down Protocol as an extreme measure to eliminate it. This protocol was essentially initiated to destroy the entire region where the creature was residing, and the forces even evacuated the civilians before proceeding with the protocol. After activating the protocol, the entire area was destroyed, and the Cloverfield monster, as well as the parasites living on its body, died. This suggests that the monster is not immortal and can be killed. However, one needs to go to extreme measures in order to get rid of it, and J.J. Abrams also spoke about its death and stated that the bombs finally managed to destroy it. So to sum up, the Cloverfield monster is truly an iconic creature that has captured the audience's eye with its strange appearance, immense strength and power, and he has quite a unique physiology and is undoubtedly one of the most interesting creatures that have been introduced in this franchise. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.